Welcome back to the DNX show with Doc and Josh, and today we're doing our predictions for Fox Raceway. All right, so Doc, let's start with the 250s. What is your bold prediction?
Ooh, this is a pretty bold one, but again, I'm basing things off of the Stopwatch Nationals, okay? And we're going to go Ryder D gets podium in one of the motos.
That's crazy. That's the boldest thing I've ever heard, dude.
Come on, Ryder, I believe, baby.
Oh my gosh. All I got to do is say, shout out Larson. He's going to love you for that pick.
Yeah, Ryder D, baby. Get her done.
So for my 250 bold prediction, I have Austin Forkner getting a top 5. I think he has the momentum on his side after the last few rounds of Supercross. I think he's going to go out there. He's going to show some speed. He might go like a 6, 7, you know, around that area, 5, 6, 7, you know, and the overall puts him a top 5. That's all I'm trying to say. I think it's possible.
I would love that. I would love a nice solid build for the Forky. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I think anything better than I think anything in a top 10 would be great for him, honestly.
Yeah. Please don't ask me what my 450 bold prediction is, because I don't want to.
Okay. So what is your 450 bold prediction?
I hate this deep down. I hate it. But I do think that Eli Tomac is going to struggle a bit coming back. And I'm going to say he's going to be outside of the top 5 in one of the motos.
You have everybody in the comment section right now roasting you.
I am the biggest Eli Tomac fan in the world. Okay, probably not. I'm not that big of a glacier. I do I want him to win the chip. I want him to win everything. I love the dude. He's awesome. Love his riding style. This is going to go one of two ways. Either I'm right or he's going to body everybody.
And I'm going to say he's going to possibly body everybody, because for my 450 bold prediction, I have the top 2 riders winning by 30 seconds plus. This has happened multiple years in a row at Paula in the first round. Go back to last year it happened. Go back to the prior year it happened. Like, it might happen once again this year. Now, I don't know which riders it's going to be, but it seems to happen every single year, the last few rounds or the last few years. So that's most likely not even a bold prediction. It's just going to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I hope you're right, and I hope it's 30 seconds over second place and it's Tomac. But I had to do something, chat. Okay, chill.
All right, so
go ahead and comment. It's good for engagement.
Also, make sure you guys hit that like and sub button too while you're down there. Okay, so now let's talk about who's winning Moto number 1 for the 450s. Who do you have?
For 450s, I feel like you just got to go with whoever has the most momentum right now. That's Chase Sexton, brother. Cooper Webb technically has the most momentum, but let's be real, he's not winning Moto. So the next runner-up, and who I think technically might have more momentum in outdoors because he won a ton of the last races in Supercross. He's the defending champ. He's got the number 1 plate. Sexton's going to go out. I think the other guys that are his competitors, which would be Hunter, Tomac, and Jett, they haven't raced. It's going to take them a little bit to get back into racing. And by a little bit, I might mean Moto, right? You know what I mean? I just think if we're going who has the best ability to go out and win the first race of the season, got to go Sexton. And again, chat, maybe this is the Moto where Tomac figures something out and then he gaps everybody by 45 seconds.
Yeah, that's kind of bold. I will say he definitely has the momentum on his side, but I just had like a little vision, and I kind of see him mid-pack and he gets like 3rd and 4th or something like that, which is kind of bold, and I don't want to actually have that vision
I think
come
you
true.
Might be a Chase hater.
No, I love Chase. I'm trying to be realistic. You guys hate on me for being a glazer. I'm trying to be realistic. That's all I'm trying to say.
I think the tides have turned, and you just don't like Chase anymore.
No. Chase the GOAT. Best number 4 ever. I'm just don't roast me for that. All right, for my Moto number 1 winner.
Guys, go. I'm unlocking. Go. Good grief.
For my Moto 1 winner,
Blake
I
Baggett
actually
is
have
obviously the best number 4.
Oh yeah, roast him, bro. What? Okay, for my Moto number 1. So for my Moto number 1 winner, that's hard to say. Holy crap. Yeah, I actually have to go against you here. I got Tomac winning. I think he's going to go out there, get a huge hole shot, and he's going to gap everybody. And he's going to put on a show. And he's just going to show why Tomac is going to be a freaking force to be reckoned with this season. And then he might struggle in Moto too. I don't know. But I think he wins Moto number 1.
I'd be so happy. If I'm losing one prediction, it's that, if you watched our season predictions, it's that I said that Sexton's going to win the chip. I would like to lose that one too, but Tomac outside the top 5, I'm fine to lose that one. Tomac just goes 1-1.
I want to also say that for my bold prediction, it could be either one of the motos. It doesn't matter which one that they gap by 30 seconds. But okay, so moving on to the 250s. Who do you have winning moto number 1? That's hard to say. Holy crap.
This is also going to piss off the chat, which seems to be my MO. Levi Kitchen. I just think Deegan's gonna, I don't know, do some things. He goes down a lot in the first lap in Soupy and historically in outdoors. Maybe he just tips over. Like, I don't think he's gonna get hurt or, wad up or anything, but tucks the front, first, second corner, has to come back, is super, super buried. Kitchen's gonna rip the start and check out.
You know what happened last year, right? Kitchen finished 2-2. So it's more than likely that he's going to be right around that area, and he can definitely get a moto win, in my opinion.
Yeah, Kitchen was flying last year, and he was flying in Supercross before he decided to smash his face in the ground. And I think as long as he's like prepped on the bike, he's going to be an issue.
For my Moto 1, I have Hayden Deegan. I think that none of that happens. I think Deegan goes out there and just gets whole shot. He dominates. He goes on the podium and then shit talks everybody like, yeah, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the GOAT, and he's just going to go out there and probably win Moto 2 too. So
imagine if Juju wins and then does all the podium yapping.
That would be crazy. I would give you like $5 if that actually happens. And
I'll take that.
Juju, you better step up, dog. All right, so now moving on to our head-to-heads, and this is brought to you guys by Next Bets, where you guys can actually play all the 450 head-to-head matchups. All you guys have to do is go to the link in the description below at nextbets.com/playdnx to play. And for today, for our 450 matchup, we have Justin Cooper versus Aaron Plessinger. And now, I don't know who to pick for this because AP had the momentum from last year's Moto. He has some momentum from Supercross at the end of the year, but so does Jay Coop. So I don't know who to pick. But me personally, I'm going to go with AP. I think he gets it done. Maybe it's like a fourth, maybe a third, fourth, and Jay Coop's like right behind him, I swear.
I could see Jay Coop winning a moto at Paula. Just being honest. I could see Jay Coop finding that extra gear and just all of us being like, oh, wait, okay, Jay Coop's here, and he might be here to stay. I could also see him getting like 7th. I think, again, if we're a betting man, which this is brought to you by Next Bets, AP is the safe bet. So I'm going to go with AP.
Realistically, I think if Jay Coop gets a start, I think he's going to be top 3 because he's just so good in the beginning of the motos, and then he can manage. Okay, now moving on to our 250 head-to-head matchups. We have Joe Schmoda versus Ty Masterpool. And this one's pretty interesting. We don't really have anything on Ty besides last year's moto because he didn't really do much of Supercross. Let's be real, he did one race and crashed out of it. And then for Joe, we don't know how his hand's doing, so I don't know how he's even performing for like testing and stuff like that. So this one's up in the air. We don't really know how this is going to work out. I'm going to go historically here, and I think Masterpool gets it done just based off of what happened last year in Moto. I think Masterpool beats Joe at Paula.
That makes sense. However, I'm going to disagree. And I think Joe is a more seasoned, just more well-rounded rider, and will lean on that experience.
Okay, that's fair enough. Yeah, I really wish Joe will be a title contender. I really hope Joe's a title contender. Okay, so now let's move on to our placements. And we're going to do 6th place this week. Kind of tough if you really think about it. Yeah, let's start with the 250 class. And who do you have getting 6th place?
I actually have Julian Beaumer, which I think this is pretty low from where I expected him. Again, try not to be too hard on him. The Stopwatch Nationals kind of told me a lot. Now, who knows? Maybe he wasn't really pushing. I just expect Juju to be a title guy. Maybe that's unrealistic of me. But I guess we'll go 6, yeah.
Okay. For me, I actually have one of our head-to-head matchup guys, and I have Joe Schmoda getting 6th place. That means I have Ty Masterpool doing better than that, which is kind of crazy to think about. Ty Masterpool top 5. I think it's definitely definitely possible in my opinion. But yeah, I think Joe, he doesn't necessarily start out slow. I can definitely see him maybe getting like a maybe say a top 3, top 4 moto in one of the motos, and then kind of struggling in the next moto, so it kind of balances out. I hope I'm wrong. I hope he's up there on the podium. But I could definitely see that, especially with that injury to his hand. How is that going to translate for motos? Because the grip strength, you need grip strength, right? So how is that going to translate? Okay, so now what about your 450s?
I have Jason Anderson. I think he's going to go 7.7, 7.6, or 8.5 or something like that. Like, not super great for his standards, but good enough to start. And I think he'll build and still do well down the road, but I think he'll end up around that 6th place.
Okay, that's not bad. That's actually a really good pick. I think Anderson could definitely do that. For me, I'm going with the Supercross champ. I got Cooper Webb. I think that's kind of bold. I definitely think that's kind of bold, but I can see the same exact thing what you just said with Anderson, going like 6, 7, 8, you know, for one of them or both motos, somewhere around there, and just getting the like 6 overall, right? I definitely think this 450 class is like crazy from 4th through 8th. I don't know who's going to be there. The top 3, we really know who that's going to be, right? But the 4 through 8 is kind of where I'm like, who's going to be 4th? Who's going to be 5th? You know, like Prado's going to be there. Hunter is very good outdoors. We saw him battle with Sexton last year. Like Anderson, Malcolm, AP, like so many different guys. So for me, I can definitely see Webb going like 6-8 and getting 6 overall. Okay, so now let's move on to our podiums. And let's start with the 250 class because I want to see what you do for 450s in a little bit.
Yeah, it's wild.
Well, I'm good. We're putting that last. Okay, so for the 250s, who do you have on your podium?
This also might be a little wild. It's actually not that wild. We're going to go Seth Hamaker, P3. Okay. Levi Kitchen, P2. Hayden Deegan gets the overall, 2-1.
Did you just like look at my predictions? Because I have that same exact podium. No bullshit. I have Hamaker, Levi, Deegan, 3, 2, 1. That's crazy.
I feel like it's the most logical thing, in my opinion. You could argue Tom instead of Hamaker. Normally, I think I asked you before this started, where's RJ? Is he going up to a 450 or is he on 250? And we think he's going to 450. So, we didn't even talk about that. RJ could do really good in a 450. He also could ruin everyone's seasons. I'm just kidding. He didn't do that.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely could. Wrist injury, though. You got to think about that too.
Yeah, so, but I think Hamaker's got something to prove, but I don't think he'll have the pace that Kitchen or Deegan does.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I actually agree with that. I believe that this will be a building round for Hamaker coming off of that championship. Probably tested a lot more Supercross than he did Moto to get like in the flow of things, right? So I think this is going to be a good test for him. I think he's going to be ahead of Tom Vial because I think Tom Vial takes a little bit time to build. And Seth is always fast outdoors. Like he is always fast. He just had some injuries the last couple of years. So I could definitely see a 2PC podium. I'm honestly not going to be surprised if say like Mashable gets like a 3rd though. Like that wouldn't be surprising at all. Kind of crazy that we have the same exact podium, but it is, like you said, very logical. Okay, so now moving on to the 450s, who do you have?
Kind of going off of my Tomac has a bad moto. I think that's going to put him off the podium, which I hate saying. And I'm sorry. I know, chat, you're pissed off. It is what it is. And for a 3rd, I'm going to go Jorge Prado. I think he's going to be very solid, like 4-4 or like 4-3. I don't think he'll be like your bold prediction of the top 2 or top 3 are just gone. Totally can see that. I think he'll be possibly maybe right there, that 5th to 3rd. And if Tomac has a real bad like 6th or 7th, which I hate saying, and then even if he did that and then went out and won, if Prado goes like 4-3, you know, it could still end up on the podium. So that's what I'm going. P3, Jorge Prado. P2, Jett. P1, Sexton.
That's crazy.
That's a wild podium for me.
I will say Prado is very good on hard pack tracks, going back to his MXGP days. I'm pretty sure that is very accurate. And now with saying that, Moto 2 of Paula is always freaking hard pack, man. Go back to watch the last couple of years. It's always hard pack. So I can definitely see that Prado being 3rd.
Chat, listen, I'm not glazing, okay? If I was glazing, what do you mean? I'd have Tomac, AP, in Ando be my podium if I was glazing. Okay.
That is very true. That would be a
Calm
wild
down.
podium.
That is a crazy podium.
For my podium, for third place, I have Chase Sexton. Like I mentioned before, I think he maybe just kind of struggles a little bit. No, I really want Chase to win. Let's be real. I really want him to go dominate. And he was one of the guys that have gapped at Paula before. You know, the top two guys gapping everybody. So I'm not going to be surprised if I'm dead ass wrong on this one, okay? For second place, I have Jett Lawrence. I think he does Jett things, and he gets a start, and he just doesn't look back, and he probably goes out there and wins one of the motos. However, for my first place, I got Eli Tomac, and I personally believe, and I tweeted this out too, that he's going to go 1-1, and he's going to show that he is a force to be reckoned with this year, and he is going to win a lot of motos. He, as you mentioned earlier, or maybe in the bold or our season predictions, he said in the interview with Swap that he is the most prepared that he's ever been going into a motocross season. And I think it's going to show. He's going to get a great start. He's going to be roosting everybody over the freaking rollers going up the hill, and it's going to be freaking sick to watch. And I'm not going to be surprised if it's Tomac Jett gapping by 30 on Chase. I'm just not.
Chat. That's my prediction too.
But all right, so those are all our predictions for Paula. Let us know in the comment section what your guys' bold prediction is and who do you guys have on the podium. We would love to see what you guys have to say. Thank you guys so much for all the love on all the videos that we've been posting, and we're very excited that motocross season is here.
Finally.
Yes, finally. We'll have a watch party for it on Saturday, so make sure you guys stay tuned, and we'll catch you guys back here with our review next week. So I'm out. Peace.